The Mount of Transfiguration. It was nearing sunset when they arrived at the foot of Mount Hermon on Friday afternoon, August 12th, in the year 29. This was near the spot where Jesus, for years earlier, had camped with the boy Tiglat before he ascended the mountain alone to change the course of the spiritual destiny of your earth by formally ending the Lucifer rebellion. Now he had returned to the same place, and Jesus knew in advance what was going to happen on the mountain. He wanted some of his apostles to witness this event. He camped with his apostles at the foot of the mountain for 2 days to prepare them spiritually for the exceptional event that was about to take place. He knew that these children of men did not have the spiritual level to witness the full experience of the visitation of the heavenly beings. He decided to take 3 apostles up the mountain. Thus, only Peter, James, and John experienced this exceptional event of transfiguration. On Monday, August 15th, Jesus and the 3 apostles began to climb Mount Hermon early in the morning, 6 days after Peter's memorable confession of faith. Your Creator had been called to settle important matters related to the progress of his universe. They climbed the mountain and arrived at their destination shortly before noon. Along the way, Jesus told the 3 apostles something of his experiences from his previous visit to this mountain. Jesus ascended Mount Hermon to consult with high spiritual authorities about his final phase on earth. On this day, from this mountain, he could have left the earth to return to his governance over the realms of his universe. For he had fulfilled the requirements set by the Ancients of Days to obtain absolute sovereignty over the universe he had created. But he chose to stay on earth to give his earthly life for the revelation of the Heavenly Father to humanity. On this day in August, 3 of his apostles saw him refuse to be clothed with the full authority over his universe. They watched in astonishment as the heavenly messengers departed and left him to complete his earthly life as the Son of Man and as the Son of God. Around 3 in the afternoon on this beautiful day, Jesus went away from the 3 apostles with the words, "I am going to separate myself to commune with the Father and his messengers. Stay here until I return and pray in the meantime that the Father's will may be done." After saying this, Jesus withdrew for a long consultation with the angel Gabriel and another high heavenly authority. Jesus was away for 3 hours, and when he returned, it was 6 o'clock. Seeing their anxiety about his long absence, he said, "Why were you afraid? You know that I must be about my heavenly Father's business. Why do you doubt when I am not near you? I have just revealed that I wish to complete my earthly life. I will stay here as a man on earth. Be of good cheer. I will not leave you until my work is finished." While they were having their evening meal, Peter asked Jesus, "How long will we stay here on this mountain, separated from our brothers?" Jesus answered, "Until you have witnessed the glory of the Son of Man, so that you may testify that the Son of God is clothed with authority." Seated around the glowing embers of a campfire, they talked for a while until the apostles' eyes became heavy, for they had started their journey early that morning. When the 3 apostles had fallen into a deep sleep, they were suddenly awakened by a crackling sound. As their eyes adjusted to the darkness, they saw, to their amazement and dismay, Jesus in intimate conversation with 2 brilliant beings dressed in the garments of heavenly light. Jesus also shone with the radiance of a heavenly light. The 3 spoke in a strange language, but from certain things that were said, Peter mistakenly inferred that the beings were Moses and Elijah. In reality, they were the angel Gabriel and another high heavenly authority. Jesus had ensured that these heavenly personalities were visible to the apostles. Shocked, the 3 apostles sat next to each other and witnessed this heavenly visit. After a while, they saw Jesus say goodbye, and then the radiance faded before their eyes, and suddenly only Jesus stood before them. Peter regained his composure and said, "Master, it is good that we have been here. We enjoy witnessing this glory. We do not want to return to the inglorious world. If you agree, let us stay here, and we will set up 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." While Peter was still speaking, a silver-colored cloud descended from the darkness until it overshadowed all 4 of them. The apostles were very afraid, and while they fell on their faces, they heard a voice say, "This is my beloved Son. Listen to him." Then the cloud disappeared, and Jesus was alone with the 3 apostles again. He bent down and touched them and said, "Get up and do not be afraid. You will see greater things than this." Silently, deep in thought, they began to descend the mountain shortly before midnight. During the first half of the descent, not a word was spoken. Then Jesus began the conversation with the remark, "Tell no one, not even the other apostles, what you have just seen and heard until the Son of Man has risen from the dead." These words shocked and bewildered the 3 apostles. They had so recently reaffirmed their faith in him as the Son of God. And just now, they had seen wonderful heavenly personalities, and now he began to speak of resurrection from the dead? Peter shuddered at the thought that the Master would die, and fearing that James or John might ask a question related to these words of Jesus. He tried to start a distracting conversation. Having nothing else to talk about, he expressed the first thought that came to his mind, namely, "Master, why do the scribes say that Elijah must come first before the Messiah appears?" Jesus, knowing that Peter was trying to avoid references to his death and resurrection, replied, "Indeed, Elijah comes first to prepare the way for the Son of Man, who must go through much suffering and ultimately be rejected. But I tell you that Elijah has already come. And they did not accept him but did with him whatever they wanted." The 3 apostles immediately understood that Jesus was referring to John the Baptist. Jesus was playing along with their own old pattern. As long as they saw him as the Messiah, then John was the Elijah of their old prophets. The 3 apostles often looked back on this heavenly visit and the supernatural radiance that surrounded their Master, but they spoke of it to no one until after his resurrection. As they continued to descend the mountain, Jesus said to them, "You did not want to accept me as the Son of Man, so I have agreed to be accepted according to your fixed ideas, but do not be mistaken, the will of my Father must prevail. If you choose to follow the inclination of your own will, you will still face many disappointments. You will then face many trials, but in the teaching I have given you, you can find sufficient support to endure these pains that you choose for yourselves.